Welcome to the Songwriter Connection podcast, where we look at the craft of songwriting through the eyes of the songwriter. Each week, we make a connection with a music maker, listen to their songs, and hear their stories. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
Well, if you're listening on the day that it comes out, it's October the 11th. And we're happy to make a connection with you. But I have to tell you that we are pre-recording it on September the 2nd. It's a Saturday morning, actually. And I woke up to the sad news today that we lost Jimmy Buffett today.
I heard that.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, what a shock. I didn't even know he was sick or anything. And they're not saying what the cause is.
Well, I heard a couple months ago
Pete Sallis is my guest, by the way.
How you doing out there?
And I was going to get you, Pete, I promise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to hear your...
I heard a couple months ago he canceled a bunch of shows for health reasons.
Heard that too.
But that's the last I heard. And
yeah.
So he must have had something pop
up. Man, how horrible. And you know, I talk a lot on this podcast about genres and leave that up to the marketing people and the record labels, right? Be your own genre, I always say. And there's a perfect example. Before Jimmy Buffett, there wasn't a Jimmy Buffett. He created his own genre. And beach music today is just a big thing.
It created a lifestyle.
It really has.
It got bigger than the music.
It sure did. It sure did.
There's a whole concert circuit.
Yes.
You know, the Parrot Head circuit.
There is. Yeah. And there's lots of friends that I have down in Florida that are just tearing it up. Guys like John Randall performing up and down and all around playing that beach kind of. What do they call? There's a name for that now. And I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Yacht rock?
Yacht rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
That just means old music for white people that
are old. Well, that's what it's all about. Pete Sallis is our guest, and I really look forward to having you on this show. Pete, you see him around town. He's a pro writer, and I'll tell you a little bit from Chicago. Love the Windy City, but you've been
Cubbies.
Go Cubs. We've been the Cubs. Oh, you had to bring that up, right? I grew up in Cleveland, Cleveland Indians fan.
Yeah, the Guardians. Sorry,
now they're the Guardians. Well, Guardians when they lose, Indians when they win.
Right.
That's how we justify. But anyway, you guys beat us in the World Series back in '16, and I'm still brokenhearted.
Oh, it was a great moment. One of the rare, one of the rare moments in 100 years of baseball.
Right. now we've been almost 100 years without a. But anyway, Pete came from Chicago. You've been here quite some time here in Nashville,
yeah,
haven't you?
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah, mid-90s moved here.
And let me tell you about him. Songs that are, I mean, we talk about genres, but I mean, take a look at this. He's written in the pop world. Cuts in the pop world, country with like Maddi Tae and that Ronnie Dun guy. Yeah. What a great voice that guy is. Yep. Blues, Keb Mo.
What a crazy experience that was.
Yeah. What am I leaving out? You've written for everybody. Shenendoah.
Oh yeah, they just cut a song of mine a couple months ago. They have a new record deal on 8-Track Entertainment.
Oh, man.
And they're cutting
8-Track Entertainment?
I think that's what the label's called.
Wow.
And they're based out of Muscle Shoals, out of Fame Studio. And,
I love Muscle Shoals.
So they're cutting 6 of their greatest hits and 6 new songs, and I got one of the new ones.
I'll tell you, those guys are still great. Marty can sing like crazy, man.
I haven't heard it yet, but the guys said they're doing final mixes right now. And,
wow.
I'm dying to hear it. Another great voice to hear. You know?
Oh, yeah. That guy's classic.
After Ronnie Dun and Shenendoah and Keb Mo, I mean, it's just cool to hear people sing your song.
Yeah.
You know?
Talk about that. Share with us that feeling. It's got to be something.
When you hear it the first time? You know, I love getting shocked. Like there was a guy that won American Idol, Phillip Phillips.
Phillip Phillips, you did.
And our demo is kind of a ballad song. And it was sent by my co-writer, Rabel, sent to, out in L.A. where I wrote it with them, they have managers. Back then, they had managers 10 years ago. Where I was like, wow, writers have managers? Out in California? Yeah. And so Rabel's manager emailed it to Jimmy Iovine. And he was, running 19 recordings, and Phillip Phillips was in the studio for that week. And he only had 2 days left to record a few more songs. So Jimmy Iovine made him record it, basically. Phillip thought it was too pop for him. But anyway, he was running out of time. So I got lucky just in that fact alone. But
what was the song called?
It was called So Easy.
So Easy. So you can look it up.
And so it was a real ballad. And then when I heard his version, it blew me away. I was like, whoa. Yeah, real guitar,
Is it a a song that you can play for us? The whole thing, or no?
No.
Putting you on the spot. Yeah.
But
kind of
anyway,
like that.
But yeah,
I like that.
when you can, I mean, a lot of times you hear a song and you are a little underwhelmed. So, but when they take it to a different place, sometimes you're overwhelmed. Like, wow, that was totally unexpected. Like, I never would have went that direction. So, a song is, to me, it's just like we're framing a house, and the artist is the one that's going to hang the curtains. Like,
that's a good point.
Kind of make it pretty and make it their own. And
make it their own.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
And we talked about this on a previous podcast not too long ago. When I write with young artists, I always tell them that as we leave, if you like the song, I mean, make it your own.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you change a thing here or there, as long as it's your thing.
Don't even ask permission.
That's
Just
right.
do it.
Make it yours. That's right. So,
you're the artist,
I remember my first cut, and hearing that, I just about cried.
Yeah.
But they also made some changes. And when I told the pluggers about it, they wanted to get on the phone. And I'm like, no, don't rock the boat. I mean, that's fine. I like what they did with it, and it's cool. But the thing is, they made it their own. And I think they even made it better. So that is a great feeling, isn't it?
Oh, man.
It really is.
Well, I mean, anytime you get anyone to record one of your songs, it's always... because 99% of the time you hear nothing or no.
Yeah.
So when you get a yes...
And nothing is worse than no.
Yeah. I always say, a no response is a no response.
Yeah.
So if you keep calling or texting somebody, this is true with girls, too. If you text them and there's no response, that's a no answer.
Yeah, that's a no. Interesting.
Yeah, you're lucky to get any kind of response. Like, usually it's like, this doesn't fit the artist, or... we already got something like this, or this song's not.
I just don't have anybody for that right now.
So I love getting emails that turn you down just because they're responding.
Yeah,
80% of the time you don't hear a thing.
And there's probably an open door there to pitch them more.
Totally,
right? Yeah.
Well, if you stay here long enough, you'll be able to open some doors.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They say 10-year town, right? Yeah.
10?
Is it now 10? I remember when it was 5, then it was 7.
Yeah.
And now I've been hearing 10, so I don't know. Who knows?
I'm working on 25 now.
Yeah, and there's a guy like Paul Jefferson who comes in the first day, he gets a cut. Cut, it's amazing. So, but anyway, can you play us a song?
Yeah, what do you want to hear?
Yeah, man, something. I've seen you in rounds. In fact, just recently, a couple of weeks back, you played at the Commodore in a feature round. Yeah. And I just love your style, your stories about your song. How about the Shenendoah song? You played it that night, and I really liked it. And tell us about this.
This song has been around the block.
Yeah.
I first heard from Garth Brooks about this song.
Really?
Yeah. And back when he was looking for songs, he would call writers, and this happened to hundreds of friends of mine that Garth called them. So it's not like a real. It's cool, but it's not like I was one of 5 people. It was hundreds of people that he would call.
Yeah.
For encouragement, I guess.
And not all the time would they believe him.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right. Garth, I ain't in the movie.
So he called and said, "Man, I just want to let you know I love this song. Any girl would love to hear this song."
Wow.
And I've got 2 ballads on my record, so I can't do it. But I just wanted to let you know that.
Wow.
I'm singing this to Trisha every night.
No kidding.
He didn't say that part. I added that. I just imagine him singing this to Trisha every night. So,
I love it.
So he didn't end up recording it, and then Kyle Jacobs heard it, and he wanted to play it for Lee Brice, so Lee put it on hold, and then that fell off. And then a year later, I don't remember how it got to him, but Shenendoah cut it at Fame Studio. So
at Fame in Muscle Shoals. Pete Sallis is our guest.
I want your shoes under my bed. I want my pillow under your head. I want your toothbrush next to mine. Baby, wanna kiss you goodnight every night. You can leave your makeup in my sink and fill my closet full of pink. I want your mess all in my mess. Baby, I want your shoes under my I wanna see. Everything you are surrounding me. Yeah, surrounding me. I want your lipstick on my cups. Your lighted candles around my tub. My hardwood floor to catch your dress. I want your shoes under my bed. Everywhere I look, I wanna see. Everything you are surrounding me. Girl, you could make my dreams come true. If I could spend my forever with you. What I'm trying to say, beautiful girl, is I want your world here in my world. Good Lord knows that I'd be blessed to have your shoes under my bed. I want your shoes under my bed.
That is absolutely beautiful. Man.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
What girl doesn't want to hear that?
I know, right? Great song. Who'd you write that with?
Or was that with Will Nance?
Will.
Yeah.
He's been on the show.
And Riley Weston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And we're going to hear that soon as done by Shenendoah.
Shenendoah on all the streaming channels.
So you're hearing it.
Wherever they are these days. I don't know.
Yeah, you're hearing it before you can even get it. You know? So that's cool. Thanks, Pete, for that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, love it.
You mentioned the word hold, and we haven't really talked about it on the podcast. Yeah. And I guess that's the first step, right, to get in the cut. Explain a little bit what it means, and does it tie the song up?
Holds have kind of morphed over the years, but originally holds were a way for a producer to tell a writer, I like this song, please hold it for me and my artist. Don't give it to any other artist.
It's kind of a gentleman's agreement that you're not going to keep pitching it? Or
don't play it for any artist. Like, we like it enough to where we just want you to keep it a secret from now on. So we can cut it.
Yeah.
And then over the years, the old saying was, holds are as good as mold. So then you would have songs that would have 3 holds. Like, you'd have hold number 1 would be so-and-so. Then artist B would be hold 2. And they'd have a list of holds on this song. And they would keep the order, More than I've never seen one with more than 3 holds in a song. But, and now, now holds are kind of like, it really depends on who puts it on hold now.
Yeah.
If... because you're pitching everybody you can, managers, lawyers, roommates, bus drivers, cousins, to
the artists
your
themselves.
dog park, your dog's best friends, dog owner.
Yeah.
So, depending on who puts it on hold. I mean, obviously, if the artist hears it and they love it, and they put it on hold, that would be great.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Chances are a lot better that's going to get
So,
cut.
really, an artist or a producer. That'd be kind of the only ones I would even, it's gotten so bad that even when I get a hold by an artist or producer, it doesn't even raise my blood pressure.
At first it does, because it's a bit of validation.
It doesn't anymore. It doesn't.
Not anymore.
No.
I remember watching...
I've gone to Walmart where I was told it was going to be on the record and it wasn't on there.
Oh, are you kidding?
So I have to wait to go to that, if it's even at Walmart anymore, but you can go see it in print with a CD in it wrapped up. Then I know, I get excited. Then I'll take a picture and selfie.
I'm the same way. I'll believe it when it comes out, when I see it on the CD.
Yeah.
Now all right. Now you mentioned Walmart. It's getting ahead of me, but I saw a TikTok of you when you said, "Hey, remember, we write for Walmart.
Oh yeah,
we
write for Walmart, not Hallmark. Yeah, that's an old saying.
It's an old, yeah.
You know, sometimes you get people with like a real poetic bent or tilt, which I love.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is Tia Sillers, my favorite co-writer in the world.
Yeah.
And
she's kind of a mentor to you, wasn't she?
Oh, totally. Yeah. She, her lyrical sense is amazing, but sometimes you can get too smart for the room or too just left field of center, which are fine if you want to write great bluebird songs, or as I call them.
Yeah.
But if you want radio is, from what I've read, is an average of fourth grade education.
Really?
Lyrically.
Wow. No
like
kidding.
number one hit songs. So if you're getting, to college level 301 instead of 101, you might be. I mean, if you're trying to get songs cut by other people.
That's interesting.
I mean, you got to kind of keep it simple, So try not to write for, Hallmark, write for Walmart.
Right, for Walmart. Interesting thing to keep in mind.
Because that's your audience. I mean, that's your, go to a Luke Bryan concert and look at all the trucks in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And all the tailgaters. I mean, that's, you got to remember who it is. So I always think, if I'm writing this, what is Walmart going to think? Mm-hmm. Not the store, but my audience,
I got you. Now, you write for all the genres. And so I imagine you get into a room and you don't say, hey, what are we going to write today? We're going to do blues. What do you feel like today? You probably, you write who's in the room?
I'm a big believer of just writing what shows up because...
I am too.
I mean, since I do it Monday through Friday, and I kind of don't wait for inspiration. It's more perspiration, really, just because...
grind it out? Yeah.
But it does depend on who's in the room. If you get, there's always like a real estate... There's someone who frames the house, which is probably the guy...
I love this analogy.
And the guy that does the real estate listing, who's just typing out lyrics. He's just listing the house, and you got your decorator, which I call the artist, because they're making it look pretty and sound pretty. But
that's interesting.
So it really depends on who's in the room that day and kind of what role you're going to play. But really, I mean, the hardest part of the job is really finding the idea.
I agree.
And sometimes you'll sit for 2-3 hours, like wishing something would fall out of the sky. Because we can all write a good song. Right. At this level that we're at. You couldn't write a good song without even trying.
Right.
I do that a lot for corporate events and just different. I write with a lot of veterans. Well, I have 2 hours to write a song with a vet.
I love that.
And so we can write good songs all day long.
Right.
But really, what separates good from great is that's the hard part about the job.
Yeah.
Finding a great idea. And then writing it right, So you got 3 minutes to mess it up. So you can get a great... I've had many great ideas that I just, didn't know what I was doing or just didn't have it that day, whatever.
There's certain ideas that pop up, I would imagine, where you just can't make it work. You've tried and you try, and it's just like, man, I love this idea, but it's just not going anywhere.
It's fun to try, though. I mean, I always try to swing for the fence.
Yeah.
Even if it's way left. It's like I just wrote a song a month ago. This girl had an idea. It was called Idaho, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do Idaho that done took your man." So I was like, "No one's ever gonna cut this song," but it was fun to write that day.
I bet it was. Sometimes it's about having fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be fun. I mean, 99% of your time's got to be fun.
It's got to be. That's what I love about it. Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, you got to do it.
I read an interesting story about you going back, take you way back. So you grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
Came time to choose in music class which instrument you wanted to play, and you said, saxophone. And mom and dad said, it's
that was actually 5th grade.
5th grade, was it?
Yeah, 5th grade. And my mom was afraid I was going to blow my ears out.
That's going to be too loud and squeaky.
And so I ended up playing a snare drum. Just one drum with sticks, and she regretted that decision ever since.
I was going to say, there had to be a day where they went, we should have let him do the saxophone.
Piccolo or flute, even, But from that 5th grade, picking out a snare drum, and I that changed the whole course of my life, really, because I grew up a drummer.
And you went on the road with those drums, right?
Oh,
you had some fun.
When I first moved to Nashville, that's all I did. My first 7 years were all playing a lot of CCM music. I started out with Bob Carlisle, the Butterfly Kisses guy.
Oh, yeah.
Mindy McCready.
I saw,
Trent Willman, just anybody that
Big
would pay
acts.
you. Yeah. So, I remember I was on the road for 7 years. I did a corporate band for a couple of years, all over the world: New Zealand, Africa, South America, Europe, Czechoslovakia. The only places I haven't played are the Middle East, Japan, and any communist country.
Okay.
But everywhere else I played. So
see the world with your music. That's awesome.
Yeah, on other people's money. So. Which I loved.
Yeah, absolutely. But I imagine it can be a grind after a while.
Yeah, I remember after 7 years, I remember the day, not the actual day, but I remember the day I got on the bus in 2003. And I got on the bus and I just looked around and I was like, oh, I'm so done doing this. I'm done. Like I knew that fire just went, it blew out.
Yeah.
And I had started really writing like a year before that.
That's what I was going to ask next.
Because I knew I was going to do something else. Because as a musician, you don't own anything.
Yeah.
You get paid to play.
That's right.
You don't have any
equity in it, do you?
No equity at all.
Yeah.
And I ran it. I don't want to say his name, but I ran into a drummer who had the biggest gig you could have in country music at the time. And he was slinging bags at Southwest. And I was like, what are you doing? He said, well, this guy, my artist, is making a movie for a year, and so I need income. Yeah. At that time, they weren't on doing the salary thing. So I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's got the biggest gig as a drummer you can have. And here he is, working for a year at Southwest. So that really changed my mind. I'd always written my whole life, but I really started to tighten the screws down and really concentrate on trying to get a writing deal and do all that.
So you started writing very young age?
I started in high school. Like I said, I was a drummer, so I was in like prog rock bands growing up.
Yeah.
Just, all the, hardest drums I could play. I would love all that
band
stuff.
called Zephyr I was reading about?
Zephyr, holy cow.
Yeah.
Where'd you get all this information?
Oh, man, it's out there, my friend. I do my homework.
Wow, Zephyr. Oh,
and pretty famous guitar player and singer.
Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
He went to the same high school. He was a senior and I was a freshman. We were in a band called Lex. Was our first band.
Lex, that's okay. I
remember painting my bass drum head all red and then with yellow letters Lex.
Lex.
And we'd play all kind. We played in backyard parties. We played a lot of it was garage band, just dreaming. But I remember we played our talent show and how'd it go? Crazy Train?
Yeah.
Going off the rails on the Crazy Train.
Crazy
and the other song was a Rush song, Bastille Day.
Okay. Yeah.
But, yeah. So, and I thought he was terrible back then. Because that was before the Nirvana, where your guitar was out of tune. He could barely sing. Because at that time, it was like Journey, REO Speedwagon, all these great singers.
Yeah.
So when he would sing, it was okay, but it was nothing like what I was used to.
Yeah. That changed things, too.
Oh, Oh, Nirvana just knocked really all those,
Yeah, you talk about, creating your own genre.
Yeah. For sure. That
it wasn't grunge rock before that. It wasn't the grunge era.
So, I missed, I could have been the Pumpkin drummer if I'd have stayed 2 more years, but I didn't.
No. Was it off to Nashville or other things?
Yeah, pretty much Nashville. Well, I think I joined a Christian group. Like half of us went and did like a Christian Zephyr, which is kind of a Christian group.
Was it Christian? Okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
It's all God's fault.
Now, when did you pick up guitar? Drums was the first instrument?
Let's see. Through high school, I started playing piano first. I would skip class and go to the practice room I'd go, every good boy does fine. That's a G. Put my finger on G. Every boy does fine. So that it would take hours just to learn one line of piano music.
Yeah.
So that was kind of eventually kind of more learned how to play chords and that was a lot quicker and a lot easier than trying to learn it classically, I guess. And then I picked up guitar late in high school and started writing songs. Once we got into these bands, and I remember being 16. And playing at a talent show at high school, playing some song that was a horrible song. It's probably called I Love You, I love you more than anything. But everybody loved it, and they went nuts. I was like, wow, people like music, and I guess
and you were hooked, huh?
Kind of where I got the bug, The first big thing that really made me move to Nashville was I entered this songwriting competition, and I can't remember the name of the school. It was somewhere in southern Illinois. It was a Christian college.
Yeah.
And I must have heard about it through like CCM magazine or something. But so I edited a song, and Niles Baroque, I don't know if you know him. He was a huge, he wrote like Via Dolorosa, down to Via Dolorosa, told the way of separate. A lot of Christian songs. Mm-hmm. And so he was the judge, and I ended up winning the grand prize.
Wow. Which was?
A song called Stand at the Door. And I mean, I had turned it in the last day I could turn it in. And he even told me it was one of the last songs he heard. So which might have had a lot to do with it, why he liked it. But
I doubt it.
But that's he kind of said, you should move to Nashville.
Well,
because he had lived here 20 years, and at that point, he was a big, many Dove Awards writing Christian music. So originally moving here, I thought, well, I'm going to come here and play drums and try and write Christian music. Because that's what I grew up on, a lot of prog rock and Christian music.
Wow.
My mom would throw out my...
How about that? Do those go together?
Yeah, my mom would throw out my, hard records like Rush. Uh-huh. Anything that had like a pentagram on it, or she'd just throw those
Devil's
away.
music, son.
I kind of had to compromise and listen to Stryper or some kind of metal that was Christian lyric.
Tesla was Tesla, I think.
Were they Christian, man? I don't think so. I don't know. It's a good car though.
Oh no, Petra. Petra is the one.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was funny. I just wrote last week with a guy named Billy Smiley, who was in a band called Whiteheart.
Okay.
And that was one of my favorite bands growing up when I was 12 years old. They were like, it was Dan Huff's original band.
Oh, okay.
He was him and his brother. He was playing guitar. David Huff played drums.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Big time. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Way back in the day.
Wow. Well, before we get too far, let's play another song. Yeah, and then we're going to take a little break, and we'll come back. Pete Sallis is our guest on the Songwriter Connection. Something you got going there.
Let me play this one. This is kind of new. I wrote this last month, and I got the idea. I saw a story online. This 81-year-old guy, he's multi-millionaire, and they said, well, what do you want to do? You're 81, you got all the money you could ever need. Mm-hmm. And his answer was, well, I want to die broke. And I went, I love that idea. Let's try and write that. So I ended up writing this with a guy named Dan Hudson and Connor Hicks. So I'm going to try this. This is kind of new, but... It's called Broke. I want to skydive from a plane, go all in on roulette 28. See the northern lights, catch a home run at a Yankee game. Put the copy in the deal, hear the pedal down, checkered flag feeling. So when I take my last lap around, before they put me in the ground, there's no more love left in this heart, no more gas left in this tank. When they read my will, ain't a dollar bill or a penny left in the bank. I'm heaven bound and hell bent on living a life well spent. Everybody knows you can't take it with you when you go. So when I go, I wanna go broke. I wanna go broke. I wanna wet that fishing line anytime my boy says, Dad, let's go. Take my wife on more date nights till she's drawing our names on a steamed up window. Soak up every single second so there ain't any question. With the last breath of my life, make sure I say goodbye. With no more love left in this heart, no more gas left in this tank. When they read my will, ain't a dollar bill or a penny left in the bank. I'm heaven bound and hell bent on living a life well spent. Yeah, everybody knows you can't take it with you when you go. So when I go, I wanna go broke. Wanna go broke. Never seen a hearse with a trailer hitch. So I'm gonna leave this world with just one one wish that I'll leave it with. No more love left in this heart, no more gas left in my tank. When they read my will and dollar bill, or a penny left in the bank. Heaven bound and hell bent on living a life well spent. Yeah, everybody knows you can't take it with you when you go. So when I go, I wanna go broke. I wanna go broke. I wanna go broke. Empty heart broke.
Sallis, pro writer from Nashville, is our guest on the Songwriter Connection podcast. I've got to take a break because I'll use that time to cross that idea off my hook book. Okay, be right back.
I'd write it in there.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection, connecting with music makers and hearing their songs and stories.
Who's that girl?
Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
That is Kate Martin, and we found her on Fiverr. She's out of New York City. I love her voice.
Yeah,
she's amazing, isn't she?
Yeah, I just kind of used Fiverr the other day.
Yeah.
I just downloaded it, but
I use them a lot. They did the last lyric video for me. I found them through Fiverr and did a really great job. So I use that a lot, and I'm on there too. So for voiceovers and things like that too. So
yeah, you got a great voice.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mine sounds really tinny and thin.
I want to go broke. That is pretty cool. You guys wrote the heck out of that song. That's why I'm crossing it off. I don't want to, I'm going to compete with that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And the guy that I wrote it with, his name's Connor Hicks. First time I wrote with him.
Yeah.
And he sang the work tape. Yeah, I was like, holy crap, this guy's a great singer.
Yeah.
So he's coming over Wednesday. I have to sing a couple little retweaks that we tweaked. And then once it's done, I'm going to be throwing that all around.
That's cool. Yeah, that's one to pitch for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely a great song.
Yeah, and the demo's great. So.
Yeah. And you're talking about the idea of the song, and we talk a lot about copywriting and things, and I know people, some writers are just so sensitive. I've got to copyright it. And really, it's copywritten when you wrote it, Yeah. And the thing is, you can't copyright an idea, right? You can't. And a lot of times, like I remember one writer I was talking to just a couple weeks ago. I do a little writer's round on 12 Keys, where you've played a few times. And he was saying, I was in a room with, I was writing Curb, and he said, I throw out an idea, and they go, I wrote that 2 weeks ago. Now I wrote that one. Now we've written that one. He said, I went through like 12 ideas, and they've written them all,
Yeah.
And so I guess I think the thing is, hang on to the ideas, folks, and because you never know. And when you throw those ideas out, you're going to find somebody that wants to, that it resonates with someone, and you're going to write a song. Absolutely.
Oh, I bet. I got thousands of titles. I know that have been in there 3 years, and finally, for whatever reason that day, I think it's just the universe. Sets it up and makes it happen for whatever reason. You see it that one time. You haven't seen it in a year.
Right.
Scrolling around, you see it, and you're with a girl, like, that'd be a great girl song. Just...
And there's also a lot of different perspectives to look at that idea.
Yeah.
Jim Melko, who is our leader in Cincinnati, the Dayton Cincinnati NSAI chapter. I know you were with them too.
Yeah.
He used to say, "It's where you put the camera." Your point of view, and everybody has that unique point of view.
Yeah.
Approaching that.
That's
idea.
really how you got to find your own voice and the way you say things when you write songs.
You do have to find your own voice.
A lot of the stuff on the radio, a lot of the I feel like. I got hooked on like Chuck Cannon.
Oh, love Chuck Cannon.
Don Schlitz, all these great Overstreet.
Overstreet, yeah, great writers.
And it's just, I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but I don't care. But like, it just feels like everything's so watered down. There's like the perspectives have gotten so vanilla and homogenized.
Yeah.
That it's just boring.
Then along comes a guy like Oliver Anthony.
Yeah.
I've been following him.
Go figure. Yeah. I just heard him on the Joe Rogan podcast.
The great podcast.
Yeah, you got almost as many followers.
I do, yeah, in my dreams.
But yeah, what a guy. He's on there. He's, reading the Bible verses to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Talking about God. I mean, I guess he's kind of found God in the last 45 days.
I'm sure you're familiar with him, listening wherever you are. If you're not, look him up. Red guy, big red beard.
Very clever. Richmond, north of Richmond.
Richmond, yeah.
Using, minors and minors. Just
that's
obviously,
great.
All those little tricks you learn. But, I had to look up how far DC was from Richmond, because I didn't know. Mm-hmm. But it's real close, 100 miles north.
That's it, huh? Well, yeah. I love how in the Republican debate, they brought him up and they said, why does that song resonate in America? And then his later comments were, I wrote that song about guys like that on that stage, And it's funny that they want to, grasp on to me. So
yeah, he talked about that on that podcast a lot. Like,
interesting
he's
stuff.
kind of not one way or the other. And
so you never know.
Yeah.
You really never know.
I'm just glad that all the TikTok algorithms will make all the, because all you see on TikTok is songwriters and artists singing the songs in their car.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen those?
I've seen that.
That's all they do. Because somewhere someone said, "Oh, the algorithm knows that you're in a car and you need to sing a song in a car."
Okay, well,
so now I'm happy that they're going to be all out in the forest in front of a tree with a resonator guitar by themselves.
That's right.
I'm waiting to see those start coming out.
Ribbon microphone. Yeah. There you go. You're absolutely right. I don't get that either on TikTok. The other thing I don't get is we're seeing a lot of women putting on makeup as they're talking their TikTok. I'm like, what's that all about? There's got to be something in the algorithm about that. Have you seen that?
I've seen a lot of
talking makeup. And they're putting on their makeup at the same time.
I watch a lot of those just to help myself. I mean, I got to learn how to put on a shade of cheek blush.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
there's all
hide
TikTok
the bags
is a
under my eyes.
Crazy world. But,
yeah, it is. But you know what? It's turning people on to a lot of music and a lot of different things.
It's almost. There's a guy I write with, Cooper Allen. I started writing with him 3 years ago. He's now in 3 years got to 9 million TikTok followers.
Wow!
He just announced a tour. He's going all fall, selling out every place he goes with no label.
Oh man!
Only because he's big on TikTok.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Just a couple.
He doesn't need a label anymore.
No. Do you need a label anymore? That's your future podcast, right there.
You don't need a label so much anymore. You just need 10,000 rabid fans.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
To have a career in music.
Now I read somewhere it was something like $40,000 a month or day even for this Oliver Anthony because of the way that blew up.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Isn't that crazy?
He's got 6 of the top 10 on iTunes, right?
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. But you're right. Maybe you don't need that today.
It's just, the labels used to. Here's another good saying. I won't say the big label head that said this to me, but he said, we don't build fires anymore. We look for smoke.
Oh.
So if you're an artist, wannabe independent artist, you got to kind of make it happen for yourself.
Yeah.
I always say labels will start coming knocking when you don't need them anymore. Yeah. When you really don't need them.
Right.
And
again, going back to Oliver Anthony, he got like an $8 million offer. And turned it down.
Yeah.
I don't need it. Yeah, that's something.
It's
it really
crazy.
is. Hey, for more on TikTok and stuff, AL is the artist, AELLE. She was on the podcast a few months back. You can find it. And she talks a lot about TikTok and how to do the TikTok thing, which I'm still learning myself. And as evidence, her video with Brother Joe was a mashup of, and I don't know if you've heard this yet, it's The Dance, and it's called Remember the Dance. It was a Lady Gaga, Garth Brooks mashup. And they did this video at this old church down in Columbia, and just a beautiful mash. I mean, it was just so unexpected, but it was great. And to this day, it's over 400 million streams out there. And because it got to Garth. And he put it on his Studio G, and it just started growing. And if you haven't seen it yet, do. And I'm telling you, you'll be impressed.
So is it called Remember the Dance?
Remember the Dance is what she calls it. Yeah. Garth was like so emotional.
Is the artist singing?
Yeah, Brother Joe and AL, she goes by. It's Ashley Litton.
Okay.
And it's just fantastic. I'll play it for you before you leave.
Yeah.
All right? You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. How about another song? That's the one from you. Because I get sidetracked on the show, but that's half the fun
song.
of it. Yeah. Yeah. Something you wrote, one of the stories behind it. We like the stories behind the songs here on the Songwriter Connection podcast.
Well, let's see. I can do one a lot of people like me to play out live.
Yeah, do one of those, man.
I mean, I was down in Florida. I think I was at the Frank Brown a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And
went last year, had a blast.
And I remember I was sitting out I was staying at a house down there, and they had like a boat, and I was sitting by the boat, but it's like those little channels behind the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote this whole lyric just that night. All I had was a lyric. I didn't have any kind of melody or anything. And then I went back to Nashville, and the next day I was writing with Clint and Bob Moffat, the Moffat brothers. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I haven't.
They were famous in Canada, had a TV show and all that. But
wow.
They were two brothers. So I was in a hurry to finish it because I loved the idea. So we wrote it that day at Rensong, and it's just one of my favorites. So it is another, idea kind of song. I'm so turned on and excited by ideas of a song more than anything else when I hear a song, because I'm always looking for good ideas.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. She was a redhead from Kentucky, while there's a bluegrass sweet as honey. She has some green eyes that make any man wanna love her. He was a backpew rebel from Cleveland, with a trail of tears from all his leaving. He loved her just long enough to discover. And she was a rainbow that danced between the rain and the sun. He had a fast car just like his heart, always on the run. She was the beauty that painted his sky. She was a rainbow, but he was colorblind. Nice. He was a minute, she was forever. They were a wildfire burning together. She was the brush that made that summer come to life. But he only saw his world in black and white. And she was a rainbow that danced between the rain and the sun. He had a fast car just like his heart, always on the run. She was the beauty that painted his skies. She was a rainbow, but he was colorblind. Oh, yeah. Colorblind. Yeah. And as the years roll on by, those clouds in the sky keep rolling in. And there's nothing but pain every time that it rains, 'cause you can't forget that she was a rainbow that danced between the rain and the sun. He had a fast car just like his heart, always on the run. She was the beauty that painted his sky. She was a rainbow, but he was colorblind. Oh, she was a rainbow, but he was colorblind. She was a redhead from Kentucky, while there's a bluegrass sweet as honey. She has some green eyes that make any man wanna love her, but he was colorblind.
Pete Sallis. Colorblind? That name of the song?
Colorblind, yeah.
Great job. Good
Thank
job.
you. Thank
Well
you.
done, my friend.
Hey,
Well
you get lucky every now and then.
Mm-hmm. I was watching a TikTok video the other day. My friend Jamie Harris was on. Jamie's one of my favorite singers.
Uh-huh.
She calls what she does folk and roll, and just a tremendous voice. And I've interviewed her twice on this podcast. And she says, can we finally retire the question in interviews, what came first, the melody or the lyrics?
Oh, man. I mean,
and it gets asked a lot of different ways. And I go, I promise from now on I'm not going to ask that question.
Ask me that question.
Now, you started because you said you had that lyric first.
I just wrote it down one day. Yeah,
You
that's
just
rare.
wrote it down.
That's rare. Usually I'm just like at the same time.
Yeah.
Get a groove and kind of mumble words and, kind of work off an idea.
So you had kind of a groove in your mind, a cadence in your mind? Or did you have the melody?
This song I didn't. Not at all. I just kind of wrote it out.
Well, there's the question I want to ask you then. So you had the lyrics all laid out. And when you look at those, just from reading the lyrics, did the melody start to pop into your head?
No. I just had, I guess there's a cadence when you kind of write a lyric. She was a redhead from Kentucky.
Right.
Da 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 da. You can hear
a little, yeah,
a rhythm or a beat, being a drummer. Mm-hmm. But there was no melody at all.
Yeah. So when you guys sat down, then it was about building a melody.
Picking up a guitar and
where are we going?
Yeah. What kind of artist
Yeah.
I think in my mind we were thinking about Blake Shelton. Mm-hmm. This is probably 2 years old that we wrote this. I still want to get it to Blake. I don't know why, but
yeah. Hey, Blake, if you're listening. So there's another idea. So when you get into a room, does that happen a lot? Who are we going to write for today?
That kind of, I guess starting out I did it a lot, because your publisher would say, hey, this person's looking or that person. You kind of have a little bit of like assignment writing.
Yeah.
Which is 20% of the time.
I got you.
Because,
I need one for so
99% of the time, whoever you're planning on writing it for doesn't cut it and someone else does.
That's something. Yeah, I can imagine.
We always, Kenny Chesney's always been called Tim McGraw's mini-me. Like he would take all of Tim's best songs that Tim passed on and Kenny Chesney would record them.
Yeah. But he's also a pretty good songwriter.
Oh, he picks great songs.
Yeah. Oh, they've been really good about that. Yeah. Finds the best songs.
Because he ain't the best singer in the world, But he has a great song. Same with Tim McGraw. Yeah. Great song sense, pick great songs. Yeah. Now every artist and their mother has to write the song for all the reasons we know why they have to do that.
It's the business today.
But man, the guys with the longest 20+ year careers are guys that pick great songs. Whether they wrote them or not.
Yeah. That's so true.
And I think, who was the guy at Warner? Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. I've known him forever. He's the head of Warner Chapel Publishing, redheaded guy. Anyway, he said like last year in an article, like, we got to get back to picking songwriter songs, songs that
I'm hoping it comes back.
Professional songwriters have written,
I'm hoping it comes back. And again, it's just the way the business is today. There's no more mechanicals, which are
right.
the sales of although vinyl is coming back now, CDs and vinyl. They're streaming everything, right? So
we've gone from buying music to renting it.
Yes. And people don't feel the need to have to own it. But I'm old school. I like to have the record collection.
I would go spend hours at Tower Records.
Me too.
Just walking through, looking at different albums.
Still one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Pete. If we go to like the flea market or whatever, where there's records, I'm looking through every one. Got them, don't got them, that kind of thing. But it's so what these artists are doing is they're signing these 360 deals, folks, and what it means is they're getting a part of the not only on the road but the merch. And they want you writing songs because there's royalties if the radio picks it up. And they're going to take a part of your royalties. And so that's just the thing. We're seeing more and more artists writing the songs. And so, writers like you and I, we'd like to get in the room with the artists, right? If at all possible.
If you're not in the room with an artist or producer, it's almost pointless.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to get out of bed and go write with.
And I know writers will say just
even
that.
Writers who have number one hits.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
It's like... I only do it because I like that person,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had writers say, I'd love to write with you, but you'd bring an artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll find you an artist, So I've been having a lot of success, indie-wise with up-and-coming new artists and working with them. And that's what I'd love to do. And I know you do, too. You're quite a mentor.
It's the whole new thing of, writing with young artists owning the master, which is kind of a new thing. It's hard to
Yeah.
I don't know you at all, but we're going to write, but I want like a third of the master or half, because we got to make money somehow.
Yeah. And we're not even talking about sync. Anyone you mentioned that.
I do have a song in a movie coming out. What was the date?
Coming out soon?
Well, the song I wrote, she was under my bed with Riley Weston.
Yeah.
She's a big...
Love her, by the way.
You know her?
I've met her once or twice.
Yeah.
Just absolutely love her.
Yeah,
She's
she writes Hallmark movies.
Yes.
Lifetime Network.
Oh, she's amazing.
And like a month and a half ago, she called me and said, "Hey, I got this movie. We need a theme song at the end of the movie." She came over. She had the idea and all that, and we just kind of wrote it.
Yeah.
And the main actor, Trevor Donovan, I think his name is, he ended up singing in the studio that used my track, and it made the movie. They filmed it all. They filmed it all right before the writer's strike and the actor's strike.
Oh, boy.
So they had 12 days to get this whole Lifetime movie fixed, or in the can, as they say. And they did it. So I think it's September 30th on Lifetime.
Lifetime?
Or
do you remember the name of it at all?
Well, they changed the name of the.
They do that.
I think it's called. It was going to be Apple Orchard.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, here it is. Hold on. Yeah, it's going to be called. It is called. No, that can't be it. A Harvest Homecoming.
A Harvest Homecoming.
It was Apple Orchards and Romance or something. Okay. Anyway, I didn't write the movie. It's all her fault. If you don't like the movie, that's her fault.
Riley wrote it, huh?
Yeah, she wrote the whole thing.
And the song is called, we'll have to listen when we watch it. We'll listen for it.
It's at the end, and I don't even know the name of it, honestly.
Listen to the very end, and you're going to find details.
Yeah, I'm terrible at that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, sync is another world. You got to try.
Yeah, it really is.
As a songwriter, you want to make money anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. You got to.
Or unless you just want to do it as a hobby. That's,
Yeah.
Looking back now, I probably could have become a doctor and do music for fun.
Yeah. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about, in the past month or so on the podcast, we've talked about defining success and how you define success. And I came across one of your quotes that you said, I just hope to write music that moves people to dance, bob the head, cry some tears, laugh a little, and point them to heaven. And if I could do that, then I fulfilled my life's calling.
Oh, yeah, so that's it, man.
That's success for you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's
just get some kind of emotional response,
Absolutely.
Even if they hate you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like on TikTok, I feel like it's a waste of time to put up just you playing a guitar.
Yeah.
You got to get a reaction. So I feel like you have to either be really funny, really shocking, or something that makes people just outrageously hate you, or just to get a reaction.
Yeah.
Because there's so much noise out there. How do you rise above the noise? Is it going to be me playing a guitar and, people are going to they're going to swipe right by that in 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
So you got to get a reaction right away. You got 3 seconds to get some kind of reaction.
That's why I like playing writers' rounds, and I know you do a lot of those too, because you get that immediate impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're picking up their phones and they're not paying attention, well,
Yeah, I played the Bluebird probably 100 times. I played it 4 times in July.
Wow.
And it's funny, I played there that many times, and I played that Broke song first.
Yeah.
I had just written it. And I was like, all I said was, here's a story of a guy that was 81, and he said, what do you want to do with your life? He said, well, I want to die broke. I played the song. That's the first time. They all had a standing ovation.
Really?
After the first song of the whole, it just started. I was like, what?
Well, that's a hit.
So, wow, it shocked me. It never happened before. But
but
any kind of reaction is great, And I grew up in Christian music, raised on it, so I'm all, there's a lot of hidden faith and in songs of mine. Even though I'm not, like a real Joe religious, but it's just how I was raised, and it's part of my foundation.
That's good.
So I do have written.
You have to have a solid
songs.
foundation, don't you? Yeah, you really do. Well, how about you take us out with one? We're running out of time here, and I'd love to hear at least one more song from Pete Sallis. Is our writer and friend, and we're making the connection with you on our show today. So,
I'm thinking maybe in the honor of Jimmy Buffett, a beach song.
How about a beach song? Yeah. Oh, you got a great beach song.
Which one? There's one called "To Beach Their Own."
To Beach Their Own is the one I'm thinking of.
Or Flip Flops.
Well, your choice. Whichever one you don't do, folks, look it up and you'll find it online. You will. These are great songs.
We do Flip Flops.
Flip Flops, okay.
It's kind of catchy. And in fact, I wrote this with Riley.
You did?
Okay. Many years ago.
When you talk to her, tell her we want her as a guest on the show. Think she'd do it?
Oh, why not?
Yeah, I'd love to have her. I just absolutely love her.
So in honor of Jimmy Buffett, who passed away yesterday, I'm going to send this out. We wrote this for Kenny Chesney, by the way. He hasn't heard it yet, but that's who we wrote it for. Cold beer in a koozie, a copper-toned cutie lying next to me in the sand. Nothing but time on our hand. Waves are on a mission, guiding me a wishing I could stay here all year long. Where all you hear are Jimmy Buffett's songs. Life is better in flip-flops. Fill my glass to the tip top. No looking at the tick tock. Oh, just me and my honey getting in a little sunny all week. Laid back and kinda lazy. No worries, no hurries, no socks. Life is better in flip-flops. Palm trees are singing, hammocks are swinging, umbrellas spinning round in the breeze. I'm in a picture-perfect postcard seat. Horizon's getting hazy, it's almost time for crazy. Soak it up and breathe it all in. Yeah, nothing beats living like this. Life is better in flip-flops. Fill my glass to the tip top. No looking at the tick top. Oh, just me and my honey getting in a little sunny all week. Laid back and kinda lazy. No worries, no hurries, no socks. Life is better in flip-flops. I know what you're thinking. Everybody always sees those guys that wear flip-flops with their white socks. You ever seen those guys?
I have seen them.
That's so wrong.
That is wrong.
Never wear socks with any kind of flip-flops.
Or sandals.
Sandals, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a pair in every color, one for every day of the week. Cause when I slip them on, nothing can go wrong. It's a salty air beach chair, blue sky philosophy. Flip-flops, fill my glass to the tip top.
Oh yeah.
No looking at the tick top. Oh, just me and my honey getting naked in the sun all week. Lay back and kinda lazy. No worries, no hurries, no socks. Life is better in flip-flops. Life is better in flip-flops.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm less than 2 weeks away from that beach, baby.
Where you going?
Destin, man. We go there every year around this time, so I just love that beach there. White sand.
Beautiful.
Going to dip my feet in that sand. We're nothing but flip-flops.
Redneck Riviera.
You betcha, baby. Pete, thanks. I needed that song today. Appreciate that.
Oh, thanks for having me out.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed our time together, and I hope that you'll listen in next week, too. So we've got another big hit writer, Craig Monday, is going to be.
Craig Monday, love him.
He's going to be here, too. So,
but you can't interview him on a Tuesday.
Why's that?
You got to do it on a Monday.
Craig Monday, that's right.
That's apropos.
I don't even remember what day it is. Most of the time, I don't remember what day it is. So, Pete, thank you so much. Enjoyed you, man.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. Find us on social media at Songwriter Connection. Also, listen to Dave Lanahan's Nashville Connections radio show. It streams live every Friday morning on WOBL and WNOI. Look for us on Facebook and YouTube. See you next time on Songwriter Connection.